Hello and welcome to PhDear Diary. My name is Andy Salkeld and this is my video blog during the time of undertaking a PhD at Leeds Beckett University. We are at the end of August and this is the last week of break, shall we say, and it's been a very tough week, a very hard week. But I've kind of had to face into a few things and so on. And part of me didn't really want to record this because I've not been doing anything with regards to the PhD other than preparing my mindset for what is to follow. And I'm really struggling with it right now. We are. So, long story short, as you all have heard on the previous kind of versions of this, we are living in a cost of living crisis in the UK. That's background to that. That means I believe it was announced today that the average person will now end up paying roughly £5,000 a year on energy, as it previously was around £1,000 a year on energy, and that is set to continue to increase over the next year or so, which basically removes a lot of free cash flow from individuals, all levels. So whether you are, whether you have wealth or do not have wealth, whether you have a high-paying job or not, you are now proportionally worse than you were. And what that means for me is, because I am self-funding the PhD, so one, that is a lot of money that I'm spending over the next few years, and the cost of paying for the PhD is roughly the cost of energy. So that's troublesome. Okay, so I am struggling for cash, but then it comes to recruitment and so on. And I've been doing my best over the past month, setting up meetings, attending networking events, doing everything I can to kind of get my research out there, to try and convince companies to take part in my studies, to develop case studies. And no one has responded. After 4 weeks of fairly intense marketing, like, I don't want to overload people, but I have been I've directly communicated some of my network, I've spoke to other people via social media, and no one has replied. Now, partly this could be because it's August, as I've discussed before. But equally, it could just be a lack of engagement with the topic or interest in the results. And I'm trying to detach from that. But what it means is the case study side is out of possibility. What that also means is recruitment for the full study is going to be harder. And the original plan was I was going to use a product called Prolific to recruit people, where you pay an amount and people complete your survey. But now I do not necessarily have the funds available to afford that, because that is on top of the kind of fees I pay to the university. So the university provides a form of grant to facilitate research, and what I need to do is I need to basically ask, can you top this up and provide additional funding? Because otherwise I can't really afford to keep going with this, because I can't sink more money into it, given I'm now going to be spending £4,000 more a year on energy than I have been previously. And that's just that's a kick in the teeth. It feels really bad, but it's the reality of things. Money, we are all worse off now. And because of where I am with everything else in my life, I can't really commit to spending an additional, say, £3,000 on this study, and then £3,000 on the study after, and then maybe £1,000. Like, I just can't afford to do that right now with where I am, and that's a real shame, and it really hurts being in that position. I feel I feel stuck with the world as it is, and it's just another problem that has stopped me getting back to where I want to be, and so on. And that's just the reality of life. Sometimes these things happen. Doesn't mean I will lose access to what I've done so far, what I've developed and where I am, but it does mean that I might have to put it on hold. And that's going to be a very tough conversation to have next week and the weeks that follow, because if it's not available, then I'm just going to stop, because I've already been struggling to balance my time around it and everything else. So I'm going to have these tough conversations, and it's why I didn't want to record this, because my mindset is very negative right now, and that's not a good place to record interesting and engaging content. But this is a diary, and sometimes you have bad days and you need to record them just as well as everything else. So that's largely where I am. It has hit me. I am very flat emotionally, and yeah, just generally a bit kind of down with it all. I feel let down by friends, former colleagues, etc. But that is what it is, and I can't change that. And I just have to come to terms with it and be at peace with what is. And yeah, so today is my parents' 44th wedding anniversary, so I am happy for them. And we are celebrating on Sunday. I'm also out tomorrow at an RTT event, so that's a 3-round tournament, and I am now seeing friends after the meal for my parents' wedding anniversary on Sunday, and then seeing some friends, one of my oldest friends, who's from London, who's come up, and we're playing some board games. Then on the Monday, I'm meeting some other friends after having breakfast with my friend from London, and then we're going to play some more board games then. So it will be a nice kind of end to the break, and ready for the really tough conversations that are going to follow. So I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, because there's no point overcomplicating it. And yeah, we're hopefully next Friday we'll have some indication of where we are, or at least have a meeting of discussion to go forward. So anyway, that's where I am right now. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in a week when hopefully we have some more information. So thank you very much, everyone.